a good day to be cutting timber. Wind is really blowing, as you can see. These days like this are just not even. Guy honestly probably shouldn't even be in the woods today, but we're going to try to put some wood on the ground nonetheless. Dad and Kenny went on up here and around the bend to go cut there. I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday out in here, which I'm going to drive the Ranger out in here, kind of keep my gas and oil and stuff close to me. I'm not going to drive too far out in here. I almost kind of wonder how we ever got along without these side-by-sides. I think we'll stop right here. Right before we get out in the swamp there. That looks pretty nasty. So we'll go over here and start getting some of these water oak down. Hopefully the wind won't be pushing on these near as much. You can see the tops start moving like they are here. We've got enough of a windbreak. Still going to be a factor, hopefully not as big of a factor. We'll see if we can get a few thousand feet down. That way John can kind of focus this morning on where Dad and Kenny are cutting, and later today we can kind of focus more on this stuff here. Sometimes it doesn't pay to gamble. I thought I had enough gas to cut one more tree. It's just making the last little bit of cut on that tree to bring it down and run out of fuel, which luckily I got the heartwood cut out pretty good for the most part, but you can see that little bit there pulled, so not as bad as I thought it'd be, but still chancy. It's my own fault, my own stupidity, thinking I could squeeze another tree out of her, but luckily it turned out all right that time. But I'm always on myself a lot about that, about never trying to risk it, always making sure I've got enough fuel. Wind is definitely not making things easy today. Trying to be pretty selective in this little stand here. A lot of big trees that I would like to cut, but landowners, they wanted to be pretty selective in this, just in this part right here. So even on the other side of this little creek, when we cut the water oak over there, there's a lot of these trees that could be cut, and a lot of them should be cut, just like that there. There's a lot of those trees that are they've been here too long, and so we're just trying to go through here and thin out the bigger ones, which 2 or 3 of what I've cut a little bad in the stump. Water gets up all over this, as you can see, holds water when the river floods out here. Now we're going to try to get some of these I cut this morning out with a 548. Now whether we can or not, I don't know. John and I just kind of drove through there and looked where I've been going in with the Ranger here, and he's going to try it. Now yesterday when I was dragging out of here, I had to run the 440. It's amazing how much this is really starting to dry. Yesterday I tried to push a lot of these trees and limbs back a little bit to let the sun get in here, hit this a little better. Of course, with the wind, sun, hot days we've had, it should dry pretty quick, which that's what we need right now. We need some good dry working weather. In a week I'll be wishing we had rain, but for now we need some dry weather. Tracking as bad as I thought. First time he comes through here, the load, we'll see what it does. wanted to get a few of these out of here before I cut this, like this big one here. This other big one here right beside him. We'll wait till he gets a few of these out. As big as those guys are, they're gonna make a mess. There's gonna be a lot of top. Back up here. Oh, we're still in four-wheel drive. That's surprisingly not too bad through there. Surprisingly not too bad. Now I wanted John to, I told him don't worry about pushing the debris out of the way, and even this little tree here. I wanted him to run over it and put it down in the log road. That way we could run on top of that to help give us a little lift. But like I said, that really, that was a lot better than I thought it'd be there, which is good. Had to switch up machines there. The little grapple skidder was just starting to sink down too much, packing those heavy logs through that soft spot. The great thing about the cable machine, when you go up to it, you can drop your load and winch it back to you. Uh-oh. John might be getting himself backed into a corner here. It's kind of a little peninsula out there. Let's see what he does here. That's what's bad when you're dragging these long logs in places like this. You really just about have to have a straight shot from the stump to the landing. You get to put in too many twists and turns in your log road, you get hung up real easy. a lot of times what I'll do in a situation like that, I'll winch that log up into the butt plate, then I'll push it straight back into that area, and then I'll just make my turn with it and come on out. We'll see what John's got in mind here. I think he's going to try to spin it around that tree. I don't know if that's going to work or not. No. One of my absolute favorite things about cutting timber is just like on a job like this, where the landowner kind of gives you an idea what they're looking for, and allowing us to go in here and selectively take out trees that need to be harvested to open up this canopy to kind of improve the overall health of this timber stand, because there's a lot of dead stuff in here. A dead snag there. There's several just dead snags growing in here. And you know, this is wet ground, and you know, I sat here a minute just to take a break, and I look at this and look at how just the trees we've cut this morning just kind of spread out here and there, and the timber doesn't look bad at all. I mean, if anything, I think it looks a little better now that there is some sunlight coming through the canopy. That is one of my favorite things about cutting timber, is just seeing a TSI come together like this, coming through here. I mean, you can see that tree right there. It's going bad, and there's several of them like that. They should have been harvested probably 15 to 20 years ago. This timber should have been harvested. It's gone too long, and now we can come in here and kind of put our little touch on it to try to improve it, and hopefully down the road, another 10 or 12 years, we can come back and harvest it again. It's fun to cut it. It's fun to directionally fall this stuff, just to try to minimize damage in the tops here. Just like following this right between here, you know, I even get excited when I can drop these things just how I want them. Even doing it day in and day out, it still just gives me a good feeling knowing I can put my trees where I want them most of the time. I'm not going to say every time, but most of the time. But it is fun. It's really enjoyable getting to come out here and do a harvest like this. Come in here and look at the different species of trees growing. Well, John's across there. Dad and Kenny are just right up the creek there, which these are just some little ditches, drainage ways that run out of the fields into the Big Creek or river. So they're on up there cutting water oak. We've already cut, well, not just right out there, but over there a ways closer to the Big Creek. I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of working around here this morning. The wind's definitely a factor, so just trying to take our time, not getting too big of a hurry. Of course, I'm just taking a little break right now. Working on getting some logs sorted now. This is what Dad and Kenny cut this morning. We get these sorted out. John and I will start getting out this little bunch I cut. Here he comes right now with a drag. Most of this pallet stuff's cut up into 8s, 10s, and 12s are what we have orders for right now for this stuff. It just varies from time to time depending on where it's going. Pretty soft in there still. that tree. This piece is a burrow top, which that top's just pallet material, which I flung it around there, so we're not gonna take it, but that'll be it'll go to a different pile of logs. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.